That is ridiculous, and that's a story please don't tell anyone. But that is sadly how it works sometimes. But at least I got out of that without a court case and without paying.
The best Kenya travel advice in the world. Sharing insider tips no one talks about. Real and authentic. Kenya Travel Secrets.
If you're a female and a white traveler and you're just by yourself, I travel alone with my son through entire Kenya, and I get stopped so many times. And I think one of the secrets already is like, I would never get a 5-seater car and drive it through Kenya, apart from that it cannot manage all the roads. But it's also about the police. I feel like if you drive a 4x4 car, the probability that your car is getting stopped is way smaller than you driving a normal 5-seater car. And when you have a 5-seater car, police is gonna harass you. Also when you drive 4x4, of course, police can come and harass you. That is their right and that's their job. They have to make sure Kenyans, they are safe. So they are just trying to do their job. But the problem in Kenya is the moment they realize you are not Kenyan or you're not from around or you don't know the rules, they are trying to put in some things on the way. Which means, for example, they're gonna make you ask for documents, like apart from your license, then they want. And there was one case they really harassed me. It was years ago. That time I wasn't driving, I was just witnessing by myself. That they were asking the driver, and he was actually a Kenyan, but he saw that he's driving with us, white people, and then it was like, okay, the guy just wanted to have some money. And he found like, okay, this car is hired, it's not his car, so he was asking for extra documents, and then the logbook, and so many things, which he's not even supposed to ask. But he was making my friend, who was the driver, so uncomfortable that we ended up, or I believe he ended up bribing him something because he wanted to arrest the car. So I don't know exactly what was happening, and I don't want to fear you at all. The moment you have your papers done, you are good to go. You do not have to be afraid of police. And I'm telling you now, like, I would not bribe police. Not unless you're on the wrong side of the law. But now let's say you have not done anything wrong. You have your papers, you have not been over speeding, you have not been overtaking a yellow line or something. So there's nothing wrong with you or with the car. Then there's no way you have to pay them chai or lunch or invite them for something. That's how they call it. You don't have to do that, you don't have to pay them. So what you should do is just be polite. And that's mostly like my strategy I use. I'm very like, when it comes to police, I play like very polite, innocent, like, oh my god, yeah, I don't know, because I feel like they just want you to acknowledge them and show them, yeah, that you are new in this country, but he's the boss. Just give them the feeling, you are the boss, you're right, whatever you're saying, you're the innocent person, you don't know anything. Now, cases change when they want to take you to court, like now when you have done something actually. Like last time I was driving, where was I going? I was driving to Mombasa to Diani, not this trip, another trip. And then I was driving and I was like so convinced like I've done nothing wrong, police is coming to stop us. And then the police officer saying, yes, I have seen just down there, we have cameras, you have overtaken on a yellow line, which of course you are not allowed to do. But in Kenya, to be honest, if you want to move forward, you're gonna do that. Like I do it, don't do it. It's not an advice to do that. But he saw me and he's saying that he has it on video. So now, of course, I'm not sure if that's true, but he's right. I overtook on the yellow line. So now he gave me the option. He's like taking me out of the car. So that's his thing. He takes you behind the car so that he can talk to you one by one, so that he's not interfering with anyone else. And then he's opening up. You know, I have you on a video and you have been overtaken. And then he's trying to scare you to death. Don't allow any man, or woman, police officer to scare you to death. And then they're like, you know, this can be a court case, and you know, usually this court case goes like for 40 or 50,000 shilling, which is like 400, 500 USD dollars. And so just give me your license and then I will handle this over and it will be a court case, or you can just come to the police office with us. And that's now where they are playing their games. And they are starting, and I'm like, okay, yeah, fine. And then you're like, okay, you apologize. You're like, okay, I'm sorry. Should have not been taken. Should have not been doing that. and I will not do it again. Like, so then you ask him, what can we do so that it's not gonna come to a court case, and yeah, because that's for sure what you want to avoid. And then he'd be like, you know, we can settle this maybe with 20,000. So he wanted $200. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying him $200. And I'm like, no. And then you start, now it's your bargaining, your negotiation skills, and then you start telling him stories about, you know what, that's what I always do when I'm in trouble. Like, I tell him, you know, I had to go there, like right now I don't have any money, I'm a single mom raising my baby, and it's the best when Zahi is with me in the car. They see actually my baby, and I'm like, you know how hard it is, and then I play the card, and I have been, just give them stories, because they are also giving you stories. Then you play the card that your child has been sick and you needed money for the hospital, you spent so much money yesterday, or you're going somewhere very important because of your child or your family, or someone died. It's like the stories they come up with. Or I give him my actual real story and tell him, you know, I'm a single mom, and the father is actually Kenyan, but he has left me. And this is like a typical story in Kenya, where like white people like me have a child from a Kenyan, and then the men disappear. And they don't, like, so that's like a typical thing. So that's what I pretend, like the one who's, you know, who's needy. And then they feel like, okay, I'm so sorry to hear that. And then he goes down and he's like, okay, you know what? I had already told my boss, but I'm sure he can accept 5,000 shilling, which is like $50. And so the negotiation goes and goes and goes. And then he will even pretend, taking his phone. And they do that all the time. I have not gone through that once. They do that all the time. So they will call their boss and say, you know, this lady is here, and then they talk in the language, but they talk half English so that you understand a few words. Yes, no, you know, she has a problem. Can we help her and go down? Because now instead of 5,000, maybe you can pay like even less. My goal was to get out of that for free, or just to pay like 1,000 or 2,000. And I actually ended up tipping him 1,000 shilling and my phone number. I know, that is ridiculous, and that's a story, please don't tell anyone. But that is sadly how it works sometimes. But at least I got out of that without a court case and without paying what he initially wanted, $200, or a court case of $400 or $500 plus lawyer costs and whatever. So, long story short, police can really try to get you into a very bad position. And you don't want that. So just be friendly, be humble, and try to apologize and, yeah, negotiate the game when it comes to money. Because you don't want to end up paying so much money to them. And you should not even start bribing if you have not done anything wrong at all. Okay, then there is another thing I wanted to mention here as well, because there are two types of police check or military checks. So one is the police, it's like the road control, they're checking your license. These are the ones who wants to eat your money. They just want to find a mistake on your car, that there's a problem with your tires or with your insurance or something. And then there's the other type, which are really the most friendly, and the one who actually take care of the security of this country is like the military. Okay, I'm not sure if they're called military, but I believe so. So these are like the scary ones. Like when you go there, you see them, they are fully covered, you only see their eyes, they have the machine guns. And they usually stand, like now when we cross to Garissa, or we did not cross to Garissa directly, but from county to county, or if you go from Samburu to northern Kenya, they are there. Because now these are like the dangerous areas, and their job as the military now is to control your safety. So they're gonna stop you, but they don't harm you, they don't want your money, they just do their job. They don't need to be corrupted at all. But they might look scary. They want your ID, they want or your passport to make sure who you are. So you have always to carry your original papers when you drive a car or when you travel at all, like long distances. You have to get your original papers. And now they're gonna check your bags. So they might come and take out your entire bags, all of them, everything which is there, and then you're the one to put it back and to close them. Sometimes you find them even stopping entire bus. Every Kenyan, every local who is there, they have to get out, they check every ID, all the bags, everything. That's their job, to make sure that no drugs, no guns, nothing like dangerous, or no terrorists are crossing. So that's what these people are looking for. But they don't look for you. So you are safe, and they don't look for money. So this is actually my favorite, guys. It's just that they look scary. Whew, that was a heavy one. I don't want to scare you too much. I just want you to tell like all the hidden things, what it actually means if you want to become a driver in Kenya. I hope you liked this episode, and I see you soon next week in the next episodes all around how you can travel best and safe in Kenya. Bye bye.